Don't be surprised if. I want your Washington bold prediction for 2025. Here's my bold prediction, Max. You can turn down the music. My bold prediction, my don't be surprised if, is don't be surprised if Jayden Daniels throws for 40-plus touchdowns in 2025. He threw 25 last year, so I think that's bold. Not to mention the fact that, did you know that only 22 quarterback seasons have ended with 40 or more touchdown passes? That is not easy to do. Peyton Manning still holds the record at 55. Brady and Mahomes tied for second at 50. And then there are 19 other quarterback seasons of at least 40 touchdowns. The last one, last year, 2024, Burrow threw for 43, Jackson threw for 41, and Baker Mayfield. When I was looking this up, I was like, man, Baker Mayfield threw 41 touchdown passes last year. Yes, he did. Jayden Daniels and this team, I think, is going to be every bit of what they were last year, but even better in the passing game. I think we'll see more play action, more under center play action, especially if they focus on, which I think they are, a running game that doesn't just include the quarterback. I think Jayden Daniels is going to have a massive year. We'll be talking about this the rest of the week and, certainly during the season. But don't be surprised. This is my bold prediction. If Jayden Daniels throws for 40-plus touchdowns. Again, in the history of the game, it's only happened 22 times. I know some of you will be like, it's not that bold. He had 25 last year. 40 is a pretty big jump. That would be a pretty big jump. You know who's never thrown for 40-plus? Josh Allen's never thrown for 40-plus. Josh Allen last year, his best year was 37 touchdowns. That came during the 2020 season, which was the first season after his first full season of starting. I've referenced this season. Josh Allen didn't start his entire rookie year. The first full season that he started, he was an effective quarterback. But the second season, after his first full season of starting, third year in the league, 4,544 yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 picks, runner-up for the MVP behind the MVP that year, I think, was Lamar. In 2020, was it Lamar or Aaron Rodgers?
Believe it was Lamar.
No, not 2020. It would have been Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, wait.
Actually, now that I think about it. 2020 MVP voting. Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen second, Patrick Mahomes third. Okay. Don't be surprised if Jayden Daniels throws for 40-plus touchdowns.
Those are MVP numbers, Kev.
In 2025. I could have said don't be surprised if he wins the MVP, but his MVP odds are pretty high. They're like sixth, in the league. I bet you find his over under on touchdowns. I bet it's like 32 and I bet it's like 30 and a half, something like that, 29 and a half. See if you can find that. I should have looked that up.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to navigate my app as quickly as possible. The season leaders, no, not season leaders. Passing props.
It's got to be in the 20s, right?
Jayden Daniels, total passing yards, 34, 25. Touchdowns, I got to scroll a little bit further down. There's Jayden, 24 and a half. Over 24 and a half is plus 114 right now.
It's massively bold. Don't be surprised if Jayden Daniels throws 40-plus touchdowns.
I love it.
In the upcoming season. I think we're going to see an emphasis more on running backs, running the football, more under center, which will set up some really good deep shot play action opportunities. I think he could have a massive season. All right, what's your don't be surprised if?
My don't be surprised if, and this is a lot of people, listen, last year, our starting secondary, our starting corners were Benjamin St. Juste and Emmanuel Forbes. This year, Marshawn Lattimore, Trey Amos, Mikey Sainristil. I think I just don't be surprised if Washington's secondary is top 3 in the NFL this year. That's my don't be surprised. I'm very high.
I don't know
on them.
how we
I think
quantify that, but I think we'll know it if we see it. So I'm going to allow this as a don't be surprised if. Washington's secondary is top 3. You know, there has been more talk about the secondary in recent weeks than anything else. Now, part of that is in my world here on this show, we've had Fred Smoot and we've had Sean Springs on the show over the last 3 weeks, right? 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And both of them are so high on Trey Amos. So high on him. And Quan Martin.
Yes.
So
Dan said a lot about Quan too. Like he's ready to make that next step and kind of turn into this ball hawk that everyone wants to see. And he did a great job last year. I think he's going to take that next step this year, man. Washington secondary, I'm in.
All right. I want your bold predictions on Washington season. Don't be surprised if, and then fill in the rest. Let's go to our guy, Mark in Largo. Don't be surprised if. I want your bold prediction for the season.
Do we have Commanders fans on here, or these are substitute Cowboy fans up here?
Well, I mean, you knew Ian would go negative.
Oh, my God. Ian, man, he doesn't think this team could do anything for the last 20 years.
Well, he was right for 19 of them.
Well, pretty much, yeah. I said this. I called you 6 months ago, and I told you this team would go 14-3, and here's the reason why. I think they'll go 14-3 because
that's your. Don't be surprised if they go 14-3. I think that's aggressive. I think that's bold.
No. But I'm gonna tell you why.
I'm gonna let you tell me why.
Okay.
I'm just highlighting what your don't be surprised if is. You sort of glossed over it. Yeah.
If we go 14-3, it's because of Bill Merritt rushing for 1,200 yards and Chris Rodriguez just barely making over 1,000. I think adding those two.
What, you buried the lead. You buried the lead. What are you doing? You've got 2 backs rushing for 1,000 plus yards. You've got 2,200 plus yards from running backs.
You know what, Kevin? Let me ask you something. Don't you think? Aren't you surprised this doesn't go on more in a 17-game series?
Well, yeah, I mean,
think about it.
Obviously, Saquon Barkley rushed for nearly 2,200 himself.
That's Saquon, but, and we had Derrick Henry. I agree with that.
But the running back, go ahead.
Go ahead. The number one problem with this team last year, they didn't have a consistent running game. That's why they had
the number one problem was their defense.
Well, that too. But let me say this, Chris. There were a lot of games that they should have thrown
Chris,
people
doesn't
out.
mawhat Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Kevin.
That's all right. Call me whatever you want to call me. Just keep calling me.
All right, Kevin. Here's what I'm trying to say. There's some games that they should have won that shouldn't have been one-score games. The New Orleans game last year, that game should have been a 2-touchdown win. I think the Atlanta game should have been a 2-touchdown win. But because of
we were down 10 at halftime. We couldn't get off the field against Atlanta in the first half.
We couldn't get off. Well, the defense was bad, but we didn't have a consistent running game against Atlanta or New Orleans. If we have a consistent running game this year, I think this team wins, like I said, 14-3 is a season, I think. Right. With the talent that they got receiving. Now, I do think you saying Jayden's going to throw 40 touchdown passes. I do think that's possible.
I said that's my bold prediction. Yeah.
I agree with that. I still think they can get 40 touchdown passes and 2 backs to rush for over 1,000 yards.
Sure. Yeah, but
14-3.
You know what? When's the last time a team had 2 running backs rush for more than 1,000 yards? 1,000 yards, as you know, Mark. I'm not explaining this.
97.
I mean, rushing yards skyrocketed last year.
With the Eagles, remember Ricky Waters in '95. In fact, it was exactly 30 years ago. I think it was Ricky Waters. I forgot who the other running back was.
Roger.
It might have been Deuce Staley or Vaya Sikahema, something like that. But it was 2 running backs that ran over for 1,000 yards. I think you could go back to the 49er days with Rathman and Craig. So, I mean, do I think it's possible? Sure it is. Very much possible. Look, I just don't like this doom and gloom I'm seeing by Iron. This defense is going to be a bottom defense.
All right, here's the list. Here's the list. You ready for it? Okay, well, I don't care commenting on Ian's takes. Here's the list of teams in NFL history that had 2 running backs rush for 1,000 or more yards. You didn't. The 49ers are not here. First of all, very famously, the 72 Dolphins had both Zonka and Mercury Morris.
Zonka and Mercury Morris, right?
Yes. And then the 76 Steelers had Franco and Rocky Blyer. The 85 Browns, 76 Franco Harris, Rocky Blyer, both over 1,000 yards. In 85, the Browns had Kevin Mack and Ernest Biner both go for over 1,000 yards.
Ernest Biner and Kevin Mack. Okay, I got you.
2006, the Falcons had Warwick Dunn and this isn't running back, so it's different. Michael Vick go for over 1,000 yards. The Giants, 2008, Brandon Jacobs and Derek Ward. I would have never gotten that. The Derek Ward part.
You would have thought it was Tiki. You would have thought it was Tiki.
Yeah, exactly. 2009. 2009, the Panthers. Actually, I do remember this duo of Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams. They both went for over 1,000 yards. And then in 2019, not two running backs, but Mark Ingram went over 1,000 and Lamar Jackson went over 1,000. So with just running backs, it's only happened 3, 4, 5 times in NFL history. So that you buried the lead. That should have been your lead. Washington becomes the 6th team in NFL history to have 2 running backs go over 1,000 yards.
But I'm going to tell you something
Bill
else,
Merritt
Kevin,
and
people aren't
Chris
talking
Rodriguez.
about this. I think a lot of people don't seem to understand this. That offensive line is going to be much, much better this year. And I think
I agree. I think they're going to run the ball much better. I agree with you. 2 backs over 1,000 yards. No, unless it's Jayden over 1,000 with one of the other 2. That would be my prediction. If they had 2 go over 1,000, it would be Jayden being 1.
So who do you think would be the other?
I don't know yet. Yeah, let me wait until Sunday because I'm not sure. I said to Ben on the show yesterday, I'm wondering whether or not one of the 2, Rodriguez or Krosky Merritt, might be inactive for the Giant game. You typically don't carry 4 backs on game day.
And I think that's kind of – well, here's a better question for you, Kevin. Okay. Is McCaffrey going to be inactive on Sunday? Because it seems like
I don't know. They've got him back there with Debo on kickoff returns. All right, let me move on, Mark. You're the best. Thanks.